guys, Starfax here again, and today we're going to be theory crafting Leagues 5 Raging Echoes, Valamore tasks. Now, Jagex has confirmed Leagues 5 will contain Valamore as a choosable region. Now, this will increase the number of regions that you will be able to access from 10 to 11. However, this change does not come with extra choices. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about maybe what you could expect to see from Valamore as far as tasks go. I'll be making future videos. If there's any videos you'd like to see in regards to League content, any theory crafting, possible items you could see from the new Echo bosses, anything at all, drop a comment down there. Let me know what you want to see. I'll make a video on it. But for today, let's talk about Valamore. So what I've done here is I've gone through and looked at previous Leagues tasks, the easy, medium, hard, elite, and master tasks, and kind of gone off of those lists from certain regions and tied them into Valamore and kind of what we can expect to see from these task lists for Valamore. Okay, we'll kick it right off now with easy tasks. Now, some of these tasks that I'm thinking they're going to include, and again, a lot of these tasks, I've looked at other regions from previous leagues, taken tasks that were specific to those regions that would give you points, and more or less adjusted them to be Valamore specific tasks. So while all these might not be exactly correct, I think there's a good shot in the vast majority of these showing up within the Valamore region. So easy tasks: pickpocketing a citizen, visiting the Fortis Coliseum, using the Quetztail transportation network, entering a few different places that require quests, petting the good boy Molossus. Every area where you're able to pet a dog had a task to pet that dog. So I can put my entire RuneScape bank on pet Molossus being a completable easy task within this league. And then just some other random ones that bring you around Valamore and I could see easily being in there, such as, you know, drinking a beer in the pub at Civitas Illifortis. All these things, very easy tasks to complete. That's why they only give you 10 points. We're going to move right along now to the medium tasks. Some of these I think that are going to show up are going to be catching an ember-tailed jerboa, mining some gold ore in the savannah, completing a lap of the Colossal Worm Agility course, pickpocketing a house key from a wealthy citizen, some quests, making a Sunfire rune, equipping a piece of the Guild Hunter set, teleporting to Valamore from the standard spellbook, and the big one here, looting a lunar chest. Now, looting a Barrows chest was a medium task within Mauritania from the previous league, so I can see looting a lunar chest being within the medium tier for this, because they're comparable pieces of content, both geared towards mid-game players, so just a single completion I think will be within the medium task list here, as well as several hunter creatures that you can probably expect to capture to complete a task. And then pushing on through to the hard tasks here. Now this is where you're going to get a big chunk of points. I don't see any tasks from Valamore being extremely difficult. Now I'd like to take a minute to just preface all of these by saying Valamore Part 2 has not been released at the making of this video, so you can expect some minor deviations with Valamore Part 2 content, but some of the known content I have added into this, such as defeating defeating the Huicatl from 1 to 50 times. I think mid to high tier boss, just getting a KC of it will be in this league as a task, and I think it'll fall into the hard tier. Some other tasks now that are going to be a little more difficult and might get done later in the account: reaching wave 9 in the Coliseum, equipping a piece of the Sunfire armor, equipping the Tome of Earth, 50 lunar chests, catching a sunlight moth, chop and burn some magic logs west of Ralos Rise. These are going to be goals that you can set, but on leagues with the boosted XP rates, ones that are going to be very, very easy to grind to. Now, the elite tasks. A lot of the elite tasks are very combat oriented for all the regions. A lot of the skilling tasks within the previous leagues have been under the general task list. So I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of skilling tasks within the specific regions you haven't in the previous leagues. Now there's been some, such as catching a moonlight antelope, which requires 91 hunter. That is a area specific task that I think they will reward you with under the elite tier. but there's not a whole lot of skilling to be done within Valamore. Now again, the Herblore minigame has not been released up to this point, and I do list here equipping the full alchemist outfit from the new Herblore minigame as a possible reward, and I do think that that will fall within the elite tier. Some other notable items that I believe will show up in the elite tier is going to be defeating Soul Heredit. Now, defeating Zuck was an elite task, so I think defeating Soul Heredit is going to be an elite task. That doesn't mean you're just going to get 250 points for doing the Colosseum. You'll see once we get to the master tasks, there's more to be done within the Colosseum, and the Colosseum is going to be a lot of points. I think from the Colosseum, you can expect the elite tasks to be equip the Tenal sticks, as well as equipping a full set of Sunfire armor. I also think that this is where a lot of the KC tasks are going to fall into. So completing the Colosseum X amount of times, 10, 20, and 30, as well as defeating Huey 100 and 250 times. This is in line with what we've seen from the previous leagues as far as kill count requirement goes. I think it's going to return. Now, a lot of people just got to their 100 KC mark and didn't continue on to the 250 because the amount of time it takes you to get to 250 KC just for 250 extra points can be much better spent doing other things within a temporary game mode to earn yourself points to get those cosmetic rewards. So don't look at defeating Huey 250 times and think that's going to be a long, horrible grind, because let's be honest, I'm not going to do that. I don't think anyone's going to do that except the very, very high tier going for Dragon Cup gamers. And finally, moving on to the master tier tasks, equipping the Dazana's Quiver. Now, equipping the Infernal Cape was a master task. I think the Dazana's Quiver being the ranged equivalent to the Infernal Cape is going to fit right into the master task where the Infernal Cape did. So you can expect on your first completion of Soul Heredit, as long as you don't die whenever he dies, to get 750 points, which will be huge. I also think imbuing the quiver is going to be a master task. I personally believe they're going to be buffing the rates of Sunfire Splinters within the league. I don't think that Jagex expects us to grind 150 KC within the Colosseum. There's going to be some boost to Sunfire Splinters from the Colosseum, so I can imagine imbuing it will be a task and it will be doable within the league. I also think the combat achievements is going to be something they push for in this league to really test how well you're able to do this content. In Leagues 4, they did have reaching certain combat tiers for the combat achievements as a task. So I think to mix things up, they're going to add combat achievements into this list for some of the content. I think green logging the combat achievements for the Fortis Coliseum is going to be in here. And then there's going to be a speed trial for the Fortis Coliseum. Now, yes, this is a lot of Fortis Coliseum. The entire master tier, I think, is going to be Fortis Coliseum because this is the only master tier content within the region. Now, once Valamore Part 3 is released, this might change up for the next league, but we're only going to have access to Valamore Part 1 and 2 in this league. With that restriction of not having that full continent, I think they're going to lean heavily into the Coliseum for this master tier task. So these are my predictions for the Valamore tasks for Leagues 5 Raging Echoes. Again, if you have any suggestions, you think I'm wrong about anything, you think there's something I overlooked and missed that's going to be a task, let me know. And if you want to see anything else on the channel, any other videos leading up to Leagues 5, theory crafting, item lists, anything like that, just let me know and I'll do my best to get that content out there. So with all that being said, thank you for stopping by and watching. I would appreciate a like in the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.